How you doing? How are you guys doing this morning? Thank you guys for joining us this morning. We got Tangi Cousins from Foreclosure Daily. Let me make sure you guys can see me. Sorry about that, guys. We got Tangi Cousins for Foreclosure Dailies here, guys, to give you some powerful information. Remember, guys, you make your money from the leads, from the list, and we make money as a real estate entrepreneur by solving people problems. Like I tell all my students, that's how we make money. We're the problem solvers. We find the problem and we solve it. So a little bit about Tangi, guys. She's been working with real estate. She's been in this business for 15 years now. She attends multiple investors meeting on a regular basis. Tangi works with a company called Foreclosures Daily. Foreclosures Daily, www.foreclosuredaily.com. Foreclosure Daily is a nationwide lead provider, and they've been providing leads since 2004. They also provide leads such as probates, pre-probates, inheritance, divorce, code violations, evictions, list pendants, auctions, absentee owners, tax lates, and also cash buyers. Thank you, Tangi. It's an honor to have you today.
Hi, Eddie. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day so far.
Yes, I am.
Thanks for having me on. I'm going to go ahead and take it from here and teach you guys as much as I possibly can about purchasing leads and the hottest leads nationwide and some unique marketing techniques this morning, okay?
Yeah. And guys, if you have any questions, put it in the chat and we're going to answer the questions at the end of the presentation.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm Tangi Cousins. I've been with Foreclosures Daily since 2004. I have helped many investors, realtors, and attorneys grow their business and increase their revenues. I teach the people how to use the different techniques, marketing techniques, and the do's and don'ts of marketing, and the different types of leads that we have here. My information is on the screen right now. It's Tangi at Foreclosures, and that's plural, daily.com. That's Tangi at foreclosuresdaily.com. Who we are, like Eddie said, we are a nationwide lead provider. We provide leads to investors, realtors, attorneys, and just your basic first-time home buyer. We've been in the business since 2004, and since then, we have been the internet's #1 destination for the most detailed, timely, and accurate information. How we are different is all of our leads will have real estate attached, be delivered daily, weekly, or monthly. Every lead that we have, and most data types will have property appraisers information on the actual lead itself, such as bedrooms, baths, type of property, just your basic information about the house. Enough information for you to be able to make a decision on whether or not you want to go after the property. Most companies that we have found are going to be quarterly and not farming for actual physical real estate. We understand the importance of having fresh data that is farmed for real estate. Let me explain to you what I mean by that, because a lot of people don't understand. So let's say you get a list of probate leads or divorce leads, and they give you 300 names, the other companies out there, and they'll do that. They'll give you 200 or 300 names at one time. That right there should be a red flag. Only about 7 to 10% of the people that die and file probate will actually physically own property. And only a very small percentage of the people that file divorce will actually physically own property. We are the company that's going to scrub through them and farm for actual physical real estate only. So other companies out there are going to give you 300 people. I'm only going to give you the 15 or 20 that have actual physical real estate attached. You do not want to market to 300 people if only 15 or 20 have real estate. Think of the marketing campaign, the mailing campaign, the SMS, the ringless voicemail, the skip tracing and cold calling, and the time and money spent on your VA trying to figure out, marketing to these people who don't even have real estate, and you don't even know that they don't have real estate because these companies aren't putting down there who has property and who don't. So why would you want to market to 285 extra people that don't even have real estate? That's extra skip tracing costs and mailing costs, and the costs are just astronomical. So like I said, I'm only going to give you the 15 that actually have property. Like Mr. Transaction Engineer said, the types of leads that we offer here, are probate, pre-probate, inheritance, code violation, eviction, divorce, absentee owner, high equity, free and clear. Guys, I'm not even doing the foreclosures right now, honestly, for people, unless you're like in Florida or something where they're daily. But I'm not doing them right now because of the moratorium on COVID. They haven't even lifted the ban right now anyway, so people can't technically foreclose on you. It was not a motivated lead before, and it's certainly not going to be a motivated one now. You know, it's overworked by hundreds of thousands of others investors. So I'm going to talk to you about the 6 lead types today that I feel are way hotter and have a lot more equity and typically want to sell versus people who don't. You know, people in foreclosures are typically upside down. They don't have any equity. They don't want to sell their property. They're losing their home. You know, this is not a good situation. And every beginning investor in the world is told to go after foreclosures. So not only that, the competition, they're literally getting hundreds of letters a day. So I'm going to teach you about the 6 lead types that we recommend here at Foreclosures Daily. Yes.
Quick thing. I thought they was going to live. They're lifting that.
June 30th.
Yeah.
Right, and they may very well be. But like I said, is that they weren't a motivated lead before. They certainly aren't going to be now, because here's what's happened before the COVID.
Okay.
Everybody and their brother was going after foreclosures. All the beginning newbie investors were told to go after foreclosures.
Right.
You have hundreds of people competing for the same lead, and a lot of people don't even really know what they're doing. So these people are just getting mass marketing every single day in their mailbox.
Yep.
So we've been doing this for almost 20 years. And don't get me wrong, Foreclosures Daily is where we started doing the foreclosure industry. But, you know, we've also added probate and pre-probate and all these other lead services since then. And we have a parent company, which is clerkdata.com. And in clerkdata.com, we offer all these other types of leads, not just the foreclosures. So foreclosures aren't front and run center anymore. You know, they're overworked by other investors and when you're a newbie investor, trying to beat the competition is absolutely ridiculous. You know, so I'm going to teach you about 6 lead types today that are way better, have much more motivation, and they have a lot more equity. Sometimes they're free and clear. So let's talk about it. Probate, pre-probate, inheritance, code violation, eviction, divorce. Now, if you want to work foreclosures, you know, have at it. I'm just trying to point you towards a lead service that I know that it's going to work much better for you in the long run. We still will offer foreclosures like in Florida and places like that, but we typically would much rather talk to you about these types of leads that are producing much more for the average investor today. So
I'm sorry, Tandy, to cut you off. Which leads you said are pretty good?
Probate.
Oh yeah, I love probate.
Pre-probate, and I'll talk about the difference.
Oh yeah.
Inheritance, code violation, eviction, and divorce. Okay, those are the lead types that we gather on a weekly basis, and we actually farm for real estate. So you can bet every one of those will have actual property attached. We'll talk about a customized lead in just a moment. That's working real good right now too. Now, probate and pre-probate, guys, by far are some of the best leads you'll ever get. They have a lot of equity. They typically don't mind taking a discount, and they're extremely motivated to sell. People tend to be 50 and 60 when they lose their parents. So they almost always don't want the property. They usually want to sell the property. Now, because they didn't buy the property, they typically have no skin in the game. So you can usually get the properties for deeply discounted wholesaling prices. And when their kids lose their parents, they're typically 50 and 60, like I said. So they usually almost always have their own home. They're established in their own life. So they typically won't want the parents' property. They usually want to sell the property. So now you have a motivated seller who didn't buy the property. They have no skin in the game, who typically don't mind taking a really big discount for the property either. And you can usually gain these at wholesale pricing. Yep. Now, let's talk about the difference between pre-probate and a probate. What is a pre-probate? A pre-probate basically means that they died last week. We verified there's real estate attached, or they filed a death certificate last week. We verified there's real estate attached, and then we give the lead to you 1 week later. Why is this pre-probate good? Not only are you first at the door, but if they inherit the property via a trust, you could buy now, no lines, no waiting. And even if they do have to go through probate, a lot of people think you have to wait for the whole probate process to finish before you can take ownership of the property. And in most states, that's just not true. You can buy almost right away. For example, let's say there's a personal representative involved. The summary administration has to be filed. A lot of times once that's filed, they can sell the property almost immediately. Let's say the judge has full authority or partial authority. All they have to do is bring an offer to the judge, and they usually just want to know, hey, what's the property worth? 120,000. Well, what are you selling it for? 80,000. Well, why are you selling it so cheap? Because it needs a new roof or a new kitchen. He just signs right off, guys. It's in the best interest of the judge, the court systems, and the people involved to get that in and out of the court systems as quickly as they possibly can. So a lot of people have a huge misconception. Oh, probates take, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year. Well, it's a good thing you don't have to wait for it to finish to take ownership of the property in most states, So that's why probate and pre-probate are some of the hottest leads nationwide you will ever get. Now, divorce leads, it's a couple who just got filed for divorce. A lot of times they're still living in the same household. We verify that there's real estate attached, and we give the divorce lead to you 1 week later. And the huge benefit of working a divorce lead is when the couple files for divorce, their biggest asset they gain together is typically going to be their property. And that's usually the biggest assets that they're fighting over in court for the next year or two. So you come in 1 week later offering to buy the property for a cash offer or to flip it to another wholesaler. Either way, you come in and give them 30 days to let you sell the property if you're wholesaling it or whatever you're doing. And they usually want to accept that offer because, you're taking away the biggest problem that they're fighting over, and you could alleviate them from having to fight for the next year or two about this home. So, divorce leads are very, very, very good. And you can make a lot of money on those properties, depending on how long they've owned the property and how much equity, that they've acquired. Now, let's talk about code violations. Code violations is basically people who are getting violated for one form or fashion. Maybe they have overgrown grass, trash and debris hanging out on their porches and their lawns, broken down cars in the driveway. Like, they're being violated for one reason or another. And it usually ends up being a motivated seller, especially if it's overgrown trash and debris, and stuff like that, because that means the property and all tall grass, that means the property is usually not being maintained, and they usually will want to sell the property. Now you're dealing with evictions, and we've had that moratorium for this past year and a half. A lot of people think evictions were not being able to be filed during this whole process. That's not true. Evictions were allowed. Only certain ones were not. Like, if they couldn't make their payments, you could not evict them if they could prove hardship of COVID. So, but non-renewal of lease, you could still do evictions on those. So there's all kinds of things that people have a misconception on. So evictions are really, really good, especially right now, with the ban being lifted and so on and so forth. So you definitely want to get in on that. Now, we also offer inheritance. So what is the difference between a pre-probate and a probate and inherited, right? Because you do get the inherited leads on the pre-probate. So let's talk about why would you want to also purchase the inherited leads? Because the inherited lead is for a person who inherits a property via a trust, which you do also get on the pre-probates. 1 week after the death, if they've inherited it via a trust, you do get that on the pre-probates as well. But on the inherited, you also get family deed transfers. A property that was transferred from one family member to another in the amount of $0, we also consider that to be an inherited property, in which case those might still be alive. So obviously you're dealing with people who are still living. If they've inherited it from one family member to the other in the amount of $0, they technically could still be living. You also, on the inherited list, you get a completed probate list for people who have completed their probates. So, the inherited list, you do get a mixture of 3 different types of leads, but probate and pre-probate still stand the number 1 and number 2 spots. So I recommend using all 3 because it's called striking the iron while it's hot. Being first is just as important as being last when you're marketing for different types of leads. Now, some of the customized leads that we offer that are not on a weekly basis. Oh, and by the way, probate, pre-probate, inheritance, code violation, eviction, divorce, they're all available every single Wednesday. You never get more than 25 leads per week, per county, per service. Now, the reason we have a cap is because we have to know what to charge you. It's as simple as that. And don't worry, when you work these types of leads, you're going to get a small group of people, but you're going to yield a much higher return because you're targeting people who want to sell versus people who don't. For example, 300 people may die in probate in 1 week, and only 7 to 10% of the people that die will actually physically own property. So it's not this massive amount like people think. They're like, oh, I'm in Broward County, Florida. I thought there'd be a lot more probates than these. Well, there is that are filed, but only small percentage are going to own real estate. So I'm going to give you those small percentage that own real estate and help you focus on marketing to a small group of people, less marketing dollars for you because you're not having that many people to market to. You're able to keep up with the leads because the lead flow is small, but they're going to yield a much higher return than if the lead flow was large and let's say work in the foreclosure industry. So your percentages are much greater on making these leads work than any other leads out there. Now, some of the customized leads that work real well are absentee owners, high equity, free and clear, homeowners who've owned their home for 4 or 5 or 7 years or 10 years plus, who have a specific amount of equity. I mean, those are all really good leads too, and we do sell those leads as well. We call a la carte leads. So let's go over some marketing here because this is like the guts of all of working these types of leads is marketing. Now, I recommend this kind of a postcard. It's got the actual picture of the property. There's companies out there that charge $1 for these types of postcards. I got this company. When I give you bonuses for buying leads, and then I'll talk about the bonuses in just a few moments, and that's so exciting, guys. I got some really exciting bonuses for you guys. So if anybody who's on this call who hears about us from Mr. Transaction Engineer, I'm going to give you a lot of bonuses here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about that. But this postcard, the national average response rate to marketing postcards and letters is like 0.5 to 1.5%. So it's real small, right? Guys, I've got people getting 3, 5, 10, and 15% response rates with these types of postcard. It takes the picture of the house using like Google Earth, Street View. You email them your list of like, let's say your probate leads or your divorce leads. And this company, Go Big, takes a picture of the property like from the Google Earth, Street View, and they pop it on this postcard for you. Like, hey, is this your house? Are you selling this? ? So, I mean, it's a real catchy postcard. People are getting 3, 5, 10, and 15% response rates with these kinds of postcards. Now, this company literally only charges 42 cents with postage. Other companies charge 99 cents with postage. So I got them to do it for 60% off. Now, here's the letter that they do. And I'm going to blow it up here on the screen. And they make it look like you hand wrote the letter yourself. And they only charge 64 cents with postage to send this letter. Other companies are charging $1.10, $1.20, and $1.30, and they only charge 64 cents with postage. And the minimum on the postcards is 50. The minimum on the letters is only 200. Now let's talk about the bonuses you'll receive when you buy leads through Foreclosures Daily. I'm going to give you access to the mailings, the 6-step mailing campaign, the 6-touch campaign, how many times you should mail, how often you should mail, the spacing in between the mailing, what to mail first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. We do recommend a 6-step mailing campaign, guys. Go Big put out stats last year, and it shows that by the time you get to your 6th or 7-step mailing campaign, and by the time you send that 6 to 7 step out, the average, it increases the response rates by 80%. That's huge. You want to be first, but being last is just as important, okay? Early bird gets the worm, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Just remember that. Now, I also give you phone scripts on how to negotiate with the seller. It teaches you how to talk to the people who answer the decedent's phone, because let's face it, when you work pre-probates, the only person you have to call and skip trace is a decedent. There is nobody else. They just died a week ago. So who do you call? You call the decedent's phone number. You skip trace the decedent's name, the decedent's address, and you talk to whoever answers the phone. And a good skip tracing company that I'll give you access to that only charges 15 cents will give you the phone number for the decedent, but they'll also give you all the surrounding family members' phone numbers in the area too. I also give you access to probates, and sometimes the probates have access to the PR name and address. PR stands for personal representative. And sometimes the probate, not the pre-probate, sometimes the probate ones will actually come with the phone number for the PR, which stands for personal representative, their names and addresses too. And if your list happens to come with that, you want to skip trace the PR's names and addresses and talk to them. and mail them. But if you don't have that information, you treat it just like a pre-probate, and you reach out to the decedent and mail a letter to the decedent's property expressing interest in buying the house. It is the personal representative's job to check the mail, liquidate the assets, and settle the estate. And even if they can't check the mail, let's say they live out of area, it's okay. They can have the mail forward for 6 months to a year after the death. Now, we also mail you a probate book. It's called Probate Real Estate Sales 101. And this is so important because Kevin Sayles is the author, Sayles. That's Kevin Sayles, Sayles. He is the author who wrote the book, Probate Real Estate Sales 101. So when you buy the leads, we mail you his book, Teaching Probate Real Estate Sales 101. But we know the author here at Foreclosures Daily and Clerk Data. So we actually had a webinar with him teaching the 7 ways to make money with probate real estate investing. And I'll share that webinar replay with you too. I also give you access to my webinar replay of me teaching the do's and don'ts of marketing. It's kind of like this meeting right here, but I've condensed this to 15 to 20 minutes for Mr. Transaction Engineer told me to make it short for you guys and give you lots of content in a really small amount of time, and asked me to do something extra special for you guys today. So we're going to share all these bonuses with you when you buy the leads here at Foreclosures Daily. We literally have no competition because our leads are weekly and fresh and farm for real estate. So I'll share his webinar with you, my webinar replay of me teaching the do's and don'ts of marketing. And I'll dig so much deeper into unique marketing techniques and how to get people to open your mail. Now, I'm going to go over some prices with you guys because everybody, and I'm not trying to sell you leads today. My goal was asked by Eddie just to share some free content with you guys to give you some takeaways from this. But everybody always wants to know what our prices are, right? So I put together this slide for you. Take a picture of it because it's got my phone number on it and everything. Now, probate, pre-probate, inheritance, divorce, code violation, and evictions are each this price. You don't get all of these for this price. So I do recommend that you buying at least a 6-month or a year commitment, which is 26 weeks or 52 weeks. It's more expensive, but it saves you more money in the long run. Like if you want probates for 3 months, for 12 weeks, that means we're going to give you leads for the next 12 weeks, every single week for the next 12 weeks for $599, one county, one list. Every time you add a county, it's 50% off. But if you buy 6 months or a year, 6 months is $999. It saves you $200. And a year is only $1,750. It's the biggest bang for your buck. And the year saves you $650 for a year. So that's $599 for 3 months, $999 for 6 months, $1,750 for a year. You have to use Eddie's code. And you have to use his name. Just put Eddie Raymond, Mr. Transaction Engineer, and he's got a code to give out to you. And if you use his code, I'm going to give you a free county by Friday. If you purchase this data by Friday, instead of charging you 50% off, if you buy a 6-month or a year, instead of charging you 50% off for an extra county, you asked me to give you extra benefits. I'm going to throw a free county in by Friday if you purchase leads.
Thank you so much, Tangi.
No problem. So what's your code, Eddie? Do you remember your code?
Yeah, I put it in the description, guys. But let me pull it up.
I think it was like MTE 1000, right?
Yes, MTE 1000, guys.
Which stands for Mr. Transaction Engineer 1000. And if you forget, just put Eddie Raymond or Mr. Transaction Engineer, and he will make sure you get that discount.
Now, quick thing, Tangi. What if someone, like if they didn't want to do the monthly, but just say they wanted 4 or 5 months of old leads? Could they buy leads like that also? Do y'all sell them like separately?
Yeah, so like you'd have to pick 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but you can tell me you want the 6 months going back, 6 months going forward. You would not believe the people that I have that will buy a year and they'll get 6 months back and 6 months forward.
Yeah.
Having back data, like I said, back data is important too. I mean, it's for somebody who already passed away like 6 months ago, and people feel like there may be some more like motivation and stuff like that. But like, I recommend working both back data and going forward data.
Right. Now, the inheritance list. Tell me about that again.
So an inherited list is for somebody who inherited a property via a trust, but that's also something you could get on your pre-probate list. But the inherited list also includes family deed transfers. A property that was transferred from one family member to another in the amount of $0. It also includes completed probates, if probates are available in your area. But if I had to recommend them in order of what would be the hottest, it'd be probate, pre-probate, and inheritance would be third, as far as those three only. But in order of what I recommend is the hottest is probate, pre-probate, evictions, code violation, divorce, and inheritance actually takes number 6. Because you're getting the inheritance anyway on the pre-probate, and I never recommend using inheritance over probate and pre-probate.
Now, what is pre-probate?
People who died last week or filed a death certificate last week, we verified there's real estate attached, and then we give the lead to you 1 week later. And the benefit of using a pre-probate is not only will you be first at the door, but if they inherit the property via a trust, you could buy now. That's the benefit of using a pre-probate. Pre-probates are amazing, but the benefit of working a probate is if they do have to go through probate, at least they've already filed and they may be closer to making a decision.
Right, and you can build that report, guys. Remember, report building is very valuable. So you can have enough time. If you catch the leads early, you have enough time to build your report. And when it's ready, guys, the property is yours. And probate always, Tangy, has been my biggest deals. Like, I remember, oh my man, it's like compared to other transaction probates, the biggest checks.
They really are second to none, honestly. And we are the only company that has them with real estate. I don't want to name companies, but I've never found one company that gives you weekly fresh probates with real estate attached. Other companies be like, I had a guy, I'd be like, oh, I can get leads for $75 from blah, 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 blah. He got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads, and he spent so much money marketing to people that don't even own real estate. He called me up a few months later. He's like, Tangy, you're right. I should have just paid the money. So
and you want real-time data, guys. That, like you say, you can waste a lot of money on old leads. And yeah, I've used the system before too, Tangy. We market to the list. These people say either we don't have properties or we sold that property 6 months ago. I'm like, what?
Cheap leads. Cheap leads.
I just spent all this money on marketing, and they get bringing somebody else old leads. I guess I don't know where they're getting the crap from.
Like I said, cheap leads, guys, it means cheap leads. It's as simple as that.
Hey, what they say, you get what you pay for.
That's true. And honestly, we're actually cheaper than some of the companies out there, and we have more value. Nobody gives that many bonuses. Here's the way we see. We have one chance to make your people happy. One chance, okay? So we put our best foot forward and point them to the leads that we know that have worked successfully, proven, tested, and tried. We know if we give them a lead source and it don't work, they're probably not going to come back to us. So we give all of those bonus to try to help your people become successful. And that's why every nationwide speaker out there typically will work with us, because they want their students to have success, because it looks bad on them too. If their students don't have success, it looks bad on us. It looks bad on the speaker. It's like that. My speaker referred this person and these leads didn't work.
Right.
And if it's a fault of their own, and they're not doing their marketing and they're not listening to the way we tell them, that happens sometimes. But you want to put your best foot forward, and that's what we here at Foreclosures Daily do. So,
thank you so much, Tangy. Yeah, that guys, good leads are very critical to your success. Like serious business, and I always remember it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Let me see what questions we have, Tangy.
Okay.
How you doing, Josh? KC. Wendell, thank you guys for joining us. Let's see what we have. Okay, we got one from Think It Do It. Someone who is unmarried, single, is to pass away. What would happen to their bank account of the assets?
So I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to answer questions like that. It's kind of above the scope of my business, but I can refer you to an attorney that may be able to answer something like that. And his name is Al Nicoletti, and that's Nicoletti, and he is in Florida. That's Al Nicoletti. And if you are in Florida or you're outside of Florida, he can recommend you to people that are in the local area that can help you. Let me give you his phone number. It's so funny because he's been closing people's probates in 5 to 14 days. And he takes a down payment from the investors. He does the probate process and you don't have to pay him the rest until it's ready. And his number, guys, is 30.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. Al Nicoletti, Nicoletti. His phone number is 305-632-4339. And if you go to YouTube and type in Foreclosures Daily and find the webinar that I just did with Al Nicoletti a few months ago, you can watch a replay of it and it's gonna blow your flipping mind. I can't believe it. There's no other attorney I've ever heard of in the 20 years we've been in business almost that closes people's probates in 5 to 14 days in Florida. Now, he will recommend all over attorneys that will help you in your area. If you reach, and guys, he texts back and everything. He calls back and texts back. I mean, you don't deal with paralegals. You know, you deal with him, and he's awesome. He's like Johnny on the spot. He's amazing. Just tell him Tangi Cousins referred you, and you know he'll take good care of you.
Man, that's amazing. Y'all, if you in Florida, you better call now and get you a list now. Guys, probate leads, like every deal that I've done as a probate lead, Tangi, the people don't care about the property. Somebody left them this mess and they want to get rid of it and get a check. Like serious business. Every now and then you got one that may, do a little due diligence and all that stuff. But usually if the property needs work, they don't. They're out of there. They want to check. Yeah. Here you go. We'll talk to you later. See you at closing. I love probate, man. Let me see what we got in the next one.
I mean, everybody's dying to get on that list. I'm sorry.
How does the probate system in Georgia work? What are the steps between a person dying and their heirs receiving their property?
Not real sure. You'll have to ask an attorney on that one. I mean, once they die, if they haven't inherited it via a trust, they have to go through probate. And the first step is to file it through the court, So, I mean, I can't answer questions like that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not an attorney.
Yeah. I know here in Georgia, it usually take it depends on what they have in their estate. Now, if they don't have a will, they still got to go through probate and all that stuff. But I know it usually take for us about 3 to 4 months. So with Tangi saying that guy get it done in 5 to 14 days, guys, oh my God. It looked like we will be, we're going to get in contact with him, right? And we're going to start marketing where? In Florida.
Yeah, but he can get, and if you're in Georgia, he knows attorneys all over the states that he can refer you to. So he'll probably answer your question and he'll let you know that it pertains to Florida. But most attorneys, most states kind of linger around the same laws. But he will recommend you. Not only can he help answer your question if he knows the answer to it, he can also refer you to somebody in your area usually.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna definitely call him. Repeat that number one more time. Al Nicoletti.
Al Nicoletti, and it's 305. Let me get that back up again. 632-4339.
Wow. Let me post. I'll post it too, guys.
Just tell him Tangi Cousins referred you to him on a call with Mr. Transaction Engineer.
Guys, 5 to 14 days. 5 to 14 days.
Like I said, though, a lot of people think you have to wait for the probate process to finish before you can take ownership of the property, and that's just not true. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter how long it takes somebody to close. And by the way, you can also reach him at www.alnicoletti.com. Let me see here. He said, his email. Yeah, he said al@alnicoletti.com. So that's al@alnicoletti.com.
Thank you, Tangi. Okay, next.
I have another number here. I just seen a text from him. The 305 is no longer valid, he says.
Uh-oh.
He wants you to reach him at 904-999-0053. Sorry, guys.
One more time.
904-999-0053. 0053. He opened his own law firm. He left the big firm that he was with and opened his own law firm.
Smart
So
guy.
Al at alnicoletti.com, 904-999-0053. Yeah, he started growing big, guys. And he had so many of our clients reaching out to him. He doesn't need to
Oh
work.
yeah, shoot. I can imagine so. I will be calling Al today. Definitely.
I see our next question coming up. They want me to put the list in order from 1 to 6 again. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know I'm running out of time here because I do have an 11 o'clock call I got to get on. So do you mind if I answer that question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So probates is number 1. And pre-probates is number 2. It's so hard for me to put those in those spots because they both really share the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But if I had to put them in order, I'll put probates 1, pre-probates 2, and then you have divorce.
Divorce. Or you said divorce or eviction?
Eviction's first. We got probate, pre-probate, eviction, code violation, divorce. So that's probate, pre-probate, eviction, code violation, divorce, and then inheritance.
Okay. And I put it in the chat for you guys too. Let me see if we got any more questions. Let's see.
And if you guys want to sign up for the leads, go to foreclosuresdaily.com or clerkdata.com. You can even go to probatesdaily.com. It all brings you back to the same place, but foreclosuresdaily.com, and click on sign up now or whatever. And it's going to ask you to fill out a form, and it's going to say, where did you come from? And of course, you're going to put Mr. Transaction Engineer and Tangi Cousins. And then in the code, you're going to use MTE, like Mr. Transaction Engineer, 1000 for the code. That'll get you 20 to 30% off. And we already put the prices on the screen. And that will get you a free county by Friday instead of having to pay 50% off.
Wow, guys, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Tangi.
Not a problem.
Guys, I'm telling y'all, oh my God, probate leads, I love them, guys. I'm gonna let one of my favorite lists out, guys. I'm gonna give it to you because you're my family. That's one of our favorites since I first started. And you know what? When I went in, it's a guy who used to teach probate investing. I wonder what happened to him. But we was in there, Tangi, it had to be probably about 200 people, right? And they said, how many people in here have done a probate deal? Out of 200, it was only me and another guy raised their hand.
Wow. Well, I know Preston Eli used to teach probates, but I think I don't know if he's still in the game or what, but that was a long time ago. He actually wrote a book, Deeds of the Dead or something like that.
Man, I forgot about Preston. I wonder what he's doing. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yo, he uses my list. I was just talking to him the other day.
Wow. Okay. The guy who I learned from, his name was George. I forgot his last name. Older guy, George.
I know who you're talking about, and he is an older guy. I can't remember his last name either, but Angela and I were just reminiscing about him not too long ago.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He was really good.
Out of 200 people, only 2 people raised their hand. Now it's probably more now, but wow.
You know why? A lot of people are very ignorant to probate, and it's not a bad thing. It just means that they don't know what they don't know, So They have this fear like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know how. I'm not sure the process. Well, let me ask you a question. If I was your neighbor and I was out washing my car and I was going in through probate, divorce, foreclosure, why does my situation matter? It doesn't, because you're going to walk outside, because you know me, right? Like, hey, Tangi, so I understand y'all have a property you're thinking about selling. You don't need to go get $5,000 of training on how to go through the probate process to approach me. What you need training on is a coach like Mr. Transaction Engineer. You want to learn your job, not their job. You want to learn how to write a contract, how to estimate rehab and repair costs. Because let's face it, you can't wholesale a property if you don't know how to do that. You're gonna piss your local wholesalers or investors off, and they're not going to let you wholesale with them anymore if you make a bad rep in your area. So let your coach teach you your job, not their job. Because guess what? If you went out and got $5,000 worth of training on how to do my job of going through probates, right? Your neighbor, all you've taught yourself at the end of the day is how to go through your own parents' probate when they pass, because you still are at the mercy of me. So when are you going back to court? So when is the judge going to sign off and release your property? So all your training was no good.
Right.
You gotta learn your job. That's what you need to focus your training on. Pay your speaker $5,000 to learn training. Pay them $5,000 to do your job. Don't go out and spend $5,000 on learning how to go through probate. That's pointless, guys.
Pointless. It'll take you too long to make a check.
Yeah. All you need to know how to do is talk to a human being if they have an extra property they want to sell. Who cares what situation they're in? They'll tell
Right.
you who they are in their process. Don't be scared. Scared money don't make money, okay?
Correct. You said you also provide the scripts, Tangi?
Oh yeah, I give you the phone scripts and everything. I even on the probate, sometimes you'll get probate attorneys. So I even give you a script on how to speak to the attorney and what to email to the attorney.
Oh, thank you so much, Tangi. Oh my
Mhm.
God, you've been awesome today.
I see Darshay Barnes on here. I think I've talked to Darshay before. Thanks, great energy, he says.
Wow, man, that's it, Tangi. That probate, those are gold mine, guys. Those are gold mine. Oh, one nugget I want to give you guys. When I first started in probate, I went online and downloaded this script. Tangi, it was horrible. The script said, and I don't remember word from
Not
word.
my scripts.
No. It's
Oh,
I don't know what. I got cussed out. It said something like, "Hey, my name's Eddie, and I know your somebody in your family just died,
oh
but
my
I'm calling
God.
about your house. Do you know them people?" Oh my God, they cussed me out so bad. Tanny, one lady said, "You heartless mother! They just died a week ago." I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Hey, and how about this marketing? How about this marketing? A lot of guys will guys, gals, whatever, they'll have me critique their marketing. And the one letter I got, it says, "My deepest condolences of your recent passing. My wife and I are working on the residual income for our retirement and would like to buy your property." I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I'm like,
Oh,
oh my God. How about this, guys? This is my letter. "Hi, I understand there may be a property for sale. If you do have a property for sale, I would like to buy your property. Hey, I can close fast, cash, as is, less than 30 days. Hey, you can even leave the unwanted items in your house. You don't need to
oh,
clean, update, rehab, or repair the property. I buy as is." That's a good letter right there. That's
perfect. I
solid.
love that one.
It finds their problems, it fixes their problems, it finds the solutions, it overcomes their fears, and it addresses their concerns. The last thing you want to do is bring up negative energy in your
Oh,
marketing to bring up a negative feeling in the human being that's reading your letter.
right.
Don't do that. There's no reason to mention it. Now, you're going to end up mentioning it because they're going to tell you somebody died. That's when you say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for
Right.
the
Oh my
loss. Oh my goodness, please forgive the phone call. I was just marketing to the area and I was interested in purchasing properties in a few select areas. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Jones."
right.
By the way, are y'all considering selling? You know,
Exactly.
so
And
that's
that's
how
how
you
it
want
goes, guys. Rewind this about 5 more times and look at it. Perfect script. I'm telling you guys, do not mention the person is dead because you're gonna get cussed out. And just say Mr. Transaction and Tangent told you so.
Yeah, and when you go to YouTube and you type in Foreclosures Daily, I just did my own webinar last month with myself for you guys, an hour and a half teaching on how to write your letter and stuff and the do's and don'ts of marketing. And in that letter, we talk about what to say, what not to say, how often to mail, the spacing in between, some takeaways on how you should get people to open your mail. Hey, you take your envelope, flip it over, write the word cash involved in the back. Guess what? Everybody's opening your envelope.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things I can teach you about marketing. Those little teeny worry dolls, it's like the little Japanese worry dolls. They weigh like nothing. You can stick those in your envelopes and have like lumpy mail. It costs nothing. You can reach out to Amazon, order a box of those little teeny dolls that about the size of your fingernail. You can pick them up like this. The restaurants used to set them there. I don't know if it's the Japanese restaurants or the Chinese ones, but you put those in your envelope and people feel something in the mail and they definitely want to open it. So there's a lot of marketing techniques that I can give you. And if you go to YouTube and type in Foreclosures Daily, you can watch the Innovative Investor webinar with Tangi Cousins. And it takes this version that I did today. It's like an hour and a half long to watch, but it's worth it.
Definitely worth it, guys. So, guys, go to foreclosuredaily.com. Pick your list. You also get a free list, guys. Free county, I'm sorry.
Free county by Friday.
By Friday and enter MTE1000 and bless yourself, guys. Like tremendously from the bottom of my heart, guys. I love probates. They have always been my biggest deal today. They've been my biggest deals to date. All right, that's all I can say.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tangi. I think
I'm
that's
gonna run.
it.
I got to get to my 11 o'clock appointment, so I've got to run. But this has just been a great experience with your group, and it's been an honor being on today.
Thank you, Tangi. Any last words you want to share?
Yeah, so I mean, guys, be true. You want to be consistent. Like I said, the early bird gets the worm, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you don't want to limit your marketing abilities of reaching your seller. When you limit your ability of reaching your seller after you buy a list, you only have yourself to blame if it doesn't work. I have reached out to all these skip tracing companies and mailing companies and got you these 60% off bonuses to help you be able to afford to spread your marketing dollars in a vast array of different areas so that you don't have to limit your marketing abilities. So don't limit your ability of reaching your seller. That's my takeaway for today.
Thank you so much, Tangi. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys have a fantastic day. Keep growing, going, and evolving. Talk to you soon. Peace. Guys, did y'all like that? Was that pretty good? Hit a thumbs up, guys, if you like that. Hey, this guy, Al Nicoletti, guys, reach out to him. We're going to call them today. Hey, guys, I'm having a bad hair day. Don't judge me now. Hey, reach out to Al. If you're in Florida, guys, I'm going to call him also because maybe he has somebody out in Georgia. But, guys, to be able to close on these deals, and if you never worked probate before, you don't understand how valuable having an attorney to be able to close your deals in 5 to 14 days, guys. When normally here in Georgia, it takes 4 months, 4 or 5 months before you can buy the property. So I hope Al can do it up here in Georgia. If not, we will be marketing in Florida. Florida, here it comes. It's big enough for everybody. Nelly, how you doing? Nelly, please email me today. I want to talk to you this week. I want to talk to you about something. Nelly, the code is MTE 1000. MTE. I'm gonna put it in the description, guys. But honestly, guys, man, right before I'm gonna bring the picture. I'm gonna show you one of the biggest probate checks I got right before the market crashed, guys. I was blessed, man. I'm gonna tell you a real quick thing about it, and I'm gonna grab this. I had to put the picture on the wall. But right before the market crashed, guys, it was a probate deal I was working on. I mean, it's like deja vu. It seemed like the same time. It was in the end of 2007. The market was at its height. So I could have renovated the property, right, and I would have made about 140, about 140,000, something like that on the property. But then I had a chance to wholesale it and make 60. So, hey, what did I do? I went for the 60 because at the time, then also I was crazy about wholesaling. I knew other strategies, but you new to the business, you get into wholesaling, it kind of, it's kind of addicting because you could take $10 and $20 and make 10,000, 20,000, kind of blow your mind. So I was just wholesaling, but thank God, man, I wholesale this property because, like I say, when the market is up, people never think it's going to go down. When it's down, you never think it's going to go up. So it was up, and I wholesaled the property to this guy. He was a well-known rehabber. Guys, after I sold him the property, about 30 to 45 days later, the market tanked. So this same property that was worth $350,000, first of all, when the foreclosure hit, I'm just telling you now, the news, they blow stuff up out of proportion and go crazy with it. But they gonna get on the news. Oh, foreclosures here. It's a bad time to buy. All the drama. Really, it's gonna be the best time to buy because you're gonna be getting properties at a great discount. But back to this guy here, guys. So this property is worth $350. When the market crashed, the value dropped. Now the property is worth like $240 or something like that, guys. So he was stuck with the bag. And it saved me. I don't know what he did with the property, or well, he couldn't sell it. So he was stuck with the property for a while. Eventually, I think he sold it. But guys, I took that 60 grand and ran. I wish I knew. Hey, I'm glad. Oh my God, if I would have got caught with that property, Man, that might have ended Mr. Transaction. Might have been Mr. Transaction at the end of the day, baby. That might have took me out. Let me get this check. All right, guys, I'm back. So this is the check right here, guys. Right before the market crash, this is the little car bought. Hey, and it was we hit for $58,041, baby. It's an old one. Still got dust on the check. See if y'all can see it. When was this? August 3rd, 2007. Man, I got it highlighted, so you probably can't hardly see it. Let me see, guys. Oh, right here at the bottom, you can see 58 big ones, baby. Probate lead. Let me see, August 2007. American Investment Specialist, baby. We've been jugging a long time in these real estate streets. And there go the property, man. Flora Avenue. And me and the seller still friends, guys. Ocean LLC. I need to look at that buyer. That's the one who bought it, man. I think it took my boy out the game. I hope not. But guys, so probate, man. You can imagine after making $58,000 off of probate, it blew my mind. I've been stuck glued to the list ever since. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Let me see. Does California have to wait for probate to finalize before taking ownership? I'm not sure about California, but most likely you have to go through that whole probate process before you can buy the property. But check with your attorney because every state is different. Every state is different, guys. Jay Hill, he said enter the code inside the form. Let me see, Jay Hill. I'm gonna give y'all Tangi number real quick so you can reach her. Let me take Al number out. So this is Al number, the attorney in Florida that I'm about to call as soon as I get off this phone with you guys. Guys, man. All I can say, guys, probate, you saw the check. I could show more, but that's the one that I put on the wall because that was the biggest probate deal I have done at the time, and it was like right before the market crashed. So it was just, man, because like I said, when it's up, you never think it's gonna go down, and when it's down, you never think it's gonna go up. But that was an important check, man, because it held me down, guys, till I learned how to transition over to doing modifications and short sales. So that's when I kicked in and started doing short sales, guys. When the market crashes, it's gonna be the same. You're gonna transition over to short sales, and you still will have some subject tools out there. So, guys, to being a transaction engineer, you got to be versatile, baby. You got to have more tools in your toolbox. Don't just be stuck on one way of doing real estate, because I'm telling you, if it dries up, you're gonna be in trouble. So that's why you want to know stuff like wholesaling, wholesale lease option, option deal, subject to, short sale. What's the other thing? Owner financing, wholesaling, lease options. Like it's 7 or 8 strategies we teach. Guys, get the tools in your toolbox. That way you got multiple income streams. I'm gonna put Tangi number up here, guys, again. If you have any questions, you can text her or call her. She's pretty good with her phone, so she'll pick up or text you right back. But Tangi, she'll look out for you guys. And just take advantage of it. You have to. Now, one thing about these leads, it's a numbers game, guys. Just like everything. It's a numbers game. So you got to mail to people. You got to call them, guys. Probate, I would say you can call them. Call and mail. Call and mail. Cold call and mail. Cold call and mail, guys. Put Tangi number up in here. Sorry, guys. Tangi Cousins. If you got any questions, guys, just give her a call. She'll take care of you. She's pretty good. There's Tangi number, guys. You want go to foreclosuredaily.com, order your list, and put in code MTE1000. If you have any question, guys, just call Tangi or send her a text and she'll take care of you guys. And go kick some butt, man. You heard her. You heard me. You saw the proof. That's where the money is, guys. A lot of money. Due to COVID, so a lot of people passed away, unfortunately. So, guys, take advantage of it. Love you guys. God bless you. Keep growing, going, and evolving. Peace.